Hello, welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. So, I hope that you enjoyed my latest podcasts about yoga retreats, and I am gearing up to leave for India in about 3 weeks. So, the visa process is a little grueling, but we're getting it done. Submitting those photos on that website is a little bit tedious, but everybody in my group's getting through it. We're like comforting each other, getting through it, and I'm so excited for all the things that we have planned, from Bharatanatyam to Kalaripayattu to yoga studies to Ayurveda to exploring Mysore and eating wonderfully cooked sattvic food to heal the gut. So it's right around the corner. Super excited. Um, so I wanted to record a podcast today for you that addresses two different things. One is unworthiness, like feeling that you're unworthy, maybe specifically of love, and how that can tie into abandonment wounds. So, I definitely have some abandonment wounds, and I think that a lot of my like close friend circle does as well. And the people that I kind of gravitate towards that stick around are the ones that we kind of reassure each other. We reach out. We have sweetness with one another. Like we share that sort of like compassionate sweetness, like, to help the other person feel safe while we're doing our own work. And it's really a beautiful thing when you can find like your people and even your people can share some of the same wounds that you have. So, this abandonment wound, um, part of the abandonment wound is this idea of feeling unworthy of love. And if we have this belief that we're unworthy of love, what's going to happen is we're going to attract people who either we're going to chase and they're going to kind of like pull away, or we might find ourselves in situations called breadcrumbing, where we have someone that just puts down little bits of like enough to kind of keep you coming back for more. Like, but you want the whole meal, but they just keep putting down breadcrumbs, meaning you're about to maybe pull away because you're like, oh, it's a waste of my time. And then they'll say something very loving and enchanting and endearing. And then you're like, oh, they must care. And then a couple of breadcrumbs later, then they disappear. And then you're like, all right, I'm out of here. And then, a plethora of breadcrumbs. So the person that thinks that they're unworthy of love is like trying to kind of seek uh, this love and trying to like find the whole meal if they're getting little breadcrumbs, and especially if it's inconsistent, because there's psychological studies that say that if you get inconsistency, that it's almost like more addictive, because then you're like, okay, well, what can I do to improve my behavior to then again get more of these breadcrumbs? And this is sort of like an epiphany for me. And some people that I'm working with too are going through this. And if you find yourself in the situation where you're like, this girl just like, I don't know, like what she's feeling or thinking, she won't share that with me, but like just when I'm about to like turn around and leave, then she like, showers me with some kind of affection, and then like the faucet goes dry. Or this guy like, he'll text me sometimes, text me no times, like, and then again, just when I'm about to say I've had it, then all of a sudden like all the sweetness comes out that keeps you around just a little bit longer. So if we have this feeling of unworthiness, then we're going to find ourselves in situationships like that, where you feel like you're not quite scratching that itch, that um, it's bringing into question your value and like your worthiness of love, because it's basically touching it because it already exists within you. So then the remedy, if you find yourself in a situation like this, is from the back end, finding ways to prove to yourself and maybe even reciting to yourself over and over again that like you are worthy of love. So many times, as I talked about this in my podcast, if you don't believe that and you're kind of thinking, like you say, like, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of love, I'm so worthy of love, and your brain's like, wrong, not true, and you create a tension in your body, it's not going to work. So what you would do is use a modifier. So maybe just for right now, I'm worthy of love. Maybe there's a chance I'm worthy of love. Maybe there's a small possibility that I could be worthy of love. These modifiers help us to get the body to accept this as a truth. So maybe just for today, just for this moment, I am worthy of love. It's like, okay, no tension on that one. Let me breathe, let me repeat that. And then as you continue practicing that, mantra is like a bija. Bija is a seed. And when you repeat it over and over again, you're taking the seed and you're planting it in the fertile ground of your psyche. And then that seed will grow if you nourish it, meaning like if you repeat the mantra, if you give like your conscious awareness and intention into that seed, then it will start to sprout. The thing is if you find yourself in this situation, you start doing these practices like, okay, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of love, I'm watering my seed, my seed is sprouted, I'm watering the sprout, like I'm loving myself and I'm finding ways to prove to myself that I am worthy of love. What's going to happen, and this is like, I love it when stuff like this happens, organically, that person is not going to be attractive to you so much anymore. You're just going to notice like, I don't feel as like wildly, captivated by this person. Or, you notice that you're not thinking about them as much. And something that I would recommend is if you find yourself in a space where you're in either like an obsessive space or you're just like thinking about this person a lot and just doting over them and hoping like, oh, I hope that they finally reciprocate my feelings. They might not unless they start doing some inner work or, maybe they won't. Then you can just keep doing these practices. And you'll just find that, again, the attraction kind of falls away as you continue to believe that you are worthy of love and the situation doesn't match your frequency. It's just the vibe's going to be off. And after a while, if the vibe is off, then you're going to find yourself wanting to leave the situation rather than it being like like I'll never find love. This person doesn't love me. And like, this is, proof, this whole situation. Rather, it's going to be, oh, I just realized that this isn't meeting my needs. This isn't serving me and it's not right for me. So it makes it a much easier decision when you are able to figure it out that way rather than feeling that wound and that abandonment and then leaving from that place. And then sometimes what happens is you'll change your frequency and then the other person is moved to shift their frequency too. Like something wakes up in them, right? They realize, oh, because a lot of people have these unconscious patterns, right? They might not self-study. They have things that they've inherited from their parents and from past relationships. So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So, but the thing is like if you're hurting yourself over and over again and you find yourself in relationships over and over again that are just not fulfilling your needs and you feel unloved, and you feel unheard and unseen and all these things, it's just sort of perpetual cycle. And then the other person is not doing anything on their part to improve the situation. Like, you can't have a conversation with them, things like that, then it's probably not worth your time. And again, if you can't go wrong doing these practices because it's going to reveal something. If like, how can you go wrong by thinking that you're worthy of more love or that you're lovable in a sense? You can't really go wrong with it. It's just going to lead to good things. You're going to attract more people that do love you. And if the people in your life currently, like if they do love you and maybe they wake up, then like they might stick around and that would be great. So it's kind of like a win-win all around. Either you're going to leave a situation that's not right for you anyway, or sometimes, and I've seen it happen. Actually saw it happen with my mom. Not specifically this, but like I changed my behavior and her behavior changed and a relationship was possible. So when we come from that space of I feel unworthy of love, a lot of times we'll act it out too if we have that abandonment wound. So we might, again, be unconscious of it because it's a deep wound. And you might do things to kind of unconsciously push that other person away, whether it be a friendship or romance or whatever. Everything's relationships. And then you're like, why are they acting that way? And when it's like actually you kind of pushing them away, right? So it could be something like that. Or again, they could just be like terribly toxic. And you're like, I was so blind to this. And now I'm like waking up. So whatever it is, I figured that I would share this podcast because I've had a couple of clients come to me with this issue. Some of the stuff is stuff that I have dealt with or currently dealing with. And so I wanted to share this with you because I thought it would be helpful. If you strengthen yourself from like the back panel and you're just like updating the code and, you know, giving yourself a sort of like glow up internally, spiritually, then your outside is going to start to reflect because everything that we see around us that's happening, unfolding in our lives is mirrors for us. These are lessons that kind of unfold. And so if you can add some sweetness to that, if you can start to love yourself on a deeper level, know that you're worthy of it, then your reality will shift. You're going to pull more people in that feel that. Just like if you respect yourself and you have boundaries, other people will respect you or they'll, be dropped from your life. So it's kind of similar idea, just with like this kind of deep wound specifically of unworthiness and abandonment wounds. So I hope this is helpful, and feel free to share this if you see it on socials. Feel free to leave a review. That would be amazing. And if you want to go to Japan with me, onegashimasu. Please, ishoto ni ikimasu. Nippon de. Let's go to Japan together. So you can reach out to me, Erin at erincoach.com, and I hope that you have a fantastic week. And I'll keep brushing up on my Japanese in the meantime. All right, namaste.